Hey guys, this is Clinton Jeff and today we have a really interesting pair of sneakers to check out. These are the new Reebok Zig Kinetica Concept Type 1. You know, if something has an underscore in the name, it's probably important, right? Pretty freaking cool. Cue the intro. Alright, so just to give you a bit of a backstory to these sneakers, the Zig Kinetica system started way back in 2010 when Reebok released their first sneakers with the Zig Tech design. These sneakers came in a bunch of colorways and Reebok even started advertising them along with Lewis Hamilton to really show off how cool those Zig Tech sneakers were. Reebok got a whole bunch of celebrities on board with the Zig Pulse, so the sneakers were pretty moderately popular. But as popular as they were at the time, we really haven't heard much about them since. Fast forward to today, almost a decade later since the first Zig sneaker was launched, and the Zig Tech makes a return in the form of a reworked Zig Kinetica system with the Reebok Zig Kinetica Concept Type 1. Alright, one look at these sneakers and you can already tell they have a really cool avant-garde, edgy kind of design. I mean, it's a whole vibe. Even the name has an underscore. Yeah, I'm never gonna get over the underscore. Alright, on that note, let's start with design. Honestly, these sneakers look gorgeous. You'll probably love it or you'll hate it, but the first time I heard about the sneaker was when I saw somebody post an on-foot shot of them on Instagram, and my initial reaction was, damn, those are some sweet looking sneakers. Reebok partnered with Garb Store founder and designer Ian Paley, who is the artistic brains behind this design. He's also the designer between the Garb Store and Reebok Outside In collection that was launched back in 2014 when they flipped the uppers to inside out on a few Reebok classic flagship sneakers. So when you hear the name Ian Paley, you know it's going to be an interesting design. And boy, is this show an interesting design. Wearing the Zig Kinetica out, they really turn heads. Especially if you wear them to the gym, where they most definitely stand out versus the ocean of regular gym sneakers out there. And it's all solely down to that design. It's a neat combination of clustered materials that make up the upper, ensuring that the sneaker does not fit in at all compared to everything else out there. There's 3 colorways so far, but I think I got the best looking one. There's also a slightly more formal colorway that has a black outsole and one that has a completely white outsole. The white colorway that I have also has suede that will definitely be more prone to dirt and smudges. So if you want to wear these like regular training sneakers, you might be better off with the black colorway instead. Still, regardless of the color, most of the upper is a mesh material, which is also quite hard to clean. Or to be more precise about the design, the Concept Type 1 features 15 individual segments that make up the upper on each pair. Each is layered on top of each other to make up the final design, and there's segments with suede overlays that seamlessly surround a very breathable mesh upper. The fused overlays actually look really cool, especially when you notice how they worked the lacing system into them up top. This is actually a little hard to see in photos or videos, but there really is nothing else above or below the mesh. There's no cloth or fabric, it's literally just mesh. The mesh has a very durable, tough feel to it with a bright metallic shine that really glistens in outdoor sunlight, almost giving these sneakers a different look between indoors and outdoors. There's also one more really interesting aspect to the upper, and that's an adjustable strap that goes right across the midfoot area. Depending on how you wear it, I actually love how the strap extends a little past the upper and hangs over the outsole. It's an interesting design decision that adds to the stylish but messy design across the upper. But there's also a functional aspect to them because they help secure your foot within the shoe. Coming to the toe box area, it's overlaid with 2 suede panels, so you don't have to worry about your toenails ripping through the upper. But that being said, I really wouldn't recommend wearing these sneakers without socks because the shoe is mostly see-through with all the mesh panels on the upper, unless you really want to show off your feet or something. The cool thing here though is that you can change up the look of the entire shoe with just a pair of colored socks, so that's actually really fun. Speaking of which, the inner sock liner is made of a really interesting fabric material that's quite comfortable. Moving towards the back, the ankle area of the Concept Type 1 weirdly has no foam or cushioning around the edges of this area, which is a little uncomfortable. It's a suede material, so it doesn't really irritate your skin in case you're wearing this with no-show socks, but it's definitely a weird new sensation. That being said, the lack of padding in the ankle area is actually really irritating for me because I actually do wear a lot of no-show socks. But if you wear regular socks, this won't be an issue. I should mention though, there's a little cushioning on the upper towards the lower ankle joint area, but that's basically about it. Apart from that, you have the Reebok logo on the lateral side of the shoe in this almost bluish color that you'll also see on the tongue as well. All in all, the design of these sneakers is definitely unique. It looks great and it will definitely stand out. Reebok did a really great job choosing Paley as their partner here because they've created a gorgeous sneaker. All that suede though will be very hard to clean, so keep that in mind if you're going to use these as actual performance sneakers. And speaking of using them as actual training sneakers, let's move on to comfort. According to Reebok, these sneakers are designed for fitness classes, 5K runs, and even casual wear. I'm not entirely sure that you can pull them off as casual wear though, it depends on how you style it. I think you'd look a bit off wearing these in the office or on a night out, but hey, if you can pull it off, way to go. My opinion of the Concept Type 1 is that they're performance sneakers all the way, and you can definitely feel that the second you slip them on. They're not exactly super comfortable because the upper is actually quite thin, so it literally feels like you're wearing mesh, which is mostly true because as we saw, the upper is still mostly mesh. The mesh parts of the upper are not just a see-through design element though, they're also supposed to help with performance and allow for airflow, and it definitely does a great job at ventilation, which means these sneakers are perfect for a summer run or in really hot weather. But all in all, there just doesn't seem to be much padding, which means this just isn't as comfortable a sneaker as the other options in the same price range. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not too bad, it's just that it's not too great either. Take the tongue for example, it's barely there on the Concept Type 1. It's a slim, almost paper thin fabric, and Reebok has other sneakers in a similar design like the Soul Fury, which still manages to have a more comfortable neoprene tongue, which hugged your midfoot with a good amount of elasticity. So this is definitely a weird oversight for them. Coming to the insole, the Float Ride Fuel cushioning isn't exactly the most lush in terms of comfort. These are performance sneakers after all, so the cushioning along with the outsole and overall design is really meant to propel you forwards towards workouts. Just like the Ultra Boost 20, the outsole is U-shaped, so the sneaker positions you to lean forwards. But like I mentioned with cushioning earlier, the Zig Energy shell or the zigzag portion of the outsole together with the Float Ride Fuel cushioning inside is a lot sturdier than the Boost outsole on the Ultra Boost, so it's not as comfy. That being said, the Float Ride Fuel is very soft though, and you can actually feel some of it through the liner groove on the sole. Reebok is also using a special type of sole here called the Zig Energy Band, which is supposed to expand and contract like an elastic band to help with the spring back response while you're running. So yeah, the cushioning is definitely more sturdy than Boost. It is still soft though, and does have a very springy bounce, and is also pretty elevated. The heel sits a couple millimeters lower than the insole, which ends up supporting the medial arc of your feet and adds to the comfort while you're on a run. Apart from that, at the back of the heel area, you'll see that the outsole does ramp up here and has Zig written here for some strange reason. The insole also curves around your foot instead of underneath or being flat, which adds to the whole comfort factor. If you were lucky enough to try the Zig Tech sneakers back in the day, you'll actually appreciate the familiarity of the outsole. But all that being said about that great support, there's still the issue of the cushioning around the ankle area, or rather the lack of it, which is weird because like we've seen, the upper wraps around your entire foot so well, but because of the minimal padding around the ankle area, these sneakers just aren't as comfortable as they could have been. Speaking of which, let's talk about fit. In terms of fit, the Concept Type 1 fits pretty true to size, but then again, I have pretty wide feet. There's also the advantage of the midfoot area being adjustable thanks to that midfoot strap. With the lacing and that strap, the upper literally hugs each part of your foot. Of course, if you're lucky and you manage to get the perfect sizing, you can actually just remove the strap, which gives you a much better looking sneaker that has a much cleaner design in my opinion. The strap is also really easy to remove, and I know it's very subjective, but I actually do prefer the look without the strap. Alright guys, with all of that out of the way, it's time for the CJ verdict, and here we go. Reebok says that the design of the Zig Kinetica is inspired by kinetic energy, hence the name, which kind of sounds like your usual marketing stuff. Kinetic energy is the energy possessed by an object during motion, which in this case is you wearing these sneakers. So are the Zig Kinetica Concept Type 1 the best performance sneakers out there? Well, here's the thing. These are definitely one of the best looking performance sneakers out there for sure. Like I said, it is very subjective, but it's definitely very unique. And overall, the sneaker itself is quite nice and supportive as a performance sneaker. However, at the same price, you also have the new Ultra Boost 20, which is a lot lighter, more comfortable and more reassuring to wear. And if you're looking for sneakers that can take a beating, obviously there's the Ultra Boost 20. Don't get me wrong, these sneakers are actually really comfortable, and if you're looking for a pair of unique, stylish, fashionable training sneakers, well, here you go. With these sneakers, you'll definitely stand out versus everybody else. And they're still pretty comfortable, just remember to wear full-length socks with them. Alright guys, so that's what I think about the Reebok Zig Kinetica Concept Type 1. As always, if you guys have any questions about these sneakers, let me know right in the comment section below. Or you can ask me right over on Instagram or Twitter at ClintonJeff. And hey, if this video was helpful to you, don't forget to hit the like button right below, or maybe subscribe because that would be appreciated. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.